Good morning, hello YouTube. Welcome aboard once more on a very dark, dank, greasy morning with the Furry Biker. As always, I'd like to start with a huge shout out to all my subscribers, old and new. And I hope you enjoy what you're seeing, what you're hearing, especially the weird clips, the crazy clips, the outtakes, the bloopers. There'll be more of those coming soon. Light's just gone red. But hey. And subject to today's video, it's in response to one of the questions that was asked by one of my subscribers not long back. A guy called Jay Beemer. Nice that you're aboard with me, mate. And what he's wanting to know is a bit about my camera setup and also about my bike. So, without further ado, allow me to introduce you to Misty, which is the bike that's underneath me. A 1999 Suzuki GN125. Yes, that's 1999. It's nearly 20 years old and still going absolutely wonderfully. Thank you very much, Suzuki. GN125 introduced into the markets back as early as 1983-84. Powered by a venerable single-cylinder 125 dual-valve overhead cam engine, actuated by a camshaft. A little bit of potted history there. First came out, finished production in 2005. However, for the Indonesian and Japanese markets, these bikes were reintroduced into production a couple of years ago. So it does go to show how rugged these little bikes are, that they are still being produced today, albeit with a couple of little modifications, just more detailed modifications than performance ones. Anyway, what I like about this little bike and what I don't like about this little bike, it's primarily for those of you who are debating about what first bike to get, and you've maybe seen a GN and thought, looks a nice bike. Let's see the pros and cons. There's only a couple of little really big cons. They're not really problems, but they can be a bit troublesome. The first one is they don't like wet weather. Well, when I say wet weather, I mean monsoon conditions, where it's raining so heavily that even with full waterproofs you get soaked through in less than 10 minutes. Because Suzuki, in their infinite wisdom, decided to put the CDI unit right on top of the frame underneath the fuel tank. I hear some of you saying that's not a big problem. The arch of the tank acts like a funnel, and it draws water down the underside of the tank, and down the top of the frame, which can soak the CDI, which makes things even more interesting, because a soaked CDI can cause a drop in voltage to your spark plug, which leads to a weak spark, which can lead to your engine cutting out. Not fun, I can tell you that. I've had it happen myself, actually. Easily remedied though with a bit of silicone or Vaseline. Also worthwhile now and again, if you do get one, to take the tank off, check the condition of the CDI, make sure there's no corrosion on it or anything like that. The other major flaw with the GN is they don't like cold weather. Well, I say they don't like cold weather, they're just not too keen to start, so you need full choke and a bloody good handful of throttle when you're firing the bike up. So those are the two real problems to look out for with the GN. Oh, and the odd bit of rust. But everything rusts in this world. Classic cars, classic bikes. It's normally around the wells, but it's nothing major. is just surface rust. You know, it doesn't actually damage any of the components of the frame. Yep. Good point to the GN125. Some people say it's physically a small bike, which it is, relatively speaking. But despite being over 6 foot, I can very comfortably sit on this bike and ride it for long periods of time without getting cramped, without any problems at all. Which is good. I mean, people say to me you can't do long distances on a 125. I stick a dirty great big middle finger up at people like that, because this bike's taken me all the way down to Ipswich and back twice, which from Nottingham it's 160, 170 mile trip each way, and that was a load of fun. That really was fun. I loved it. That was an amble when I went across. Anyway, parts are quite easy to come by, relatively cheap if you go down the pattern parts route. If you go main dealer, then it can get expensive. Main dealer exhaust for one of these is about £200, and there's little bits and pieces you can do to make things a little bit nicer. Change standard spark plug for an Iridium one. I use fully synthetic race oil, Motor V300V, K&N filter, a reusable sump plug. And I'll tell you now, I also fuel her up with 99 RON premium fuel, and you can feel the difference. You can, I don't care what people say that it's just a 125, but you can feel the difference between normal fuel, semi-synthetic or mineral oil, and a standard filter, and the performance parts. It does make a big difference to the bike. She pulls off quicker, shifts quicker. What the fuck was going on there? I think I have a chat with this driver. If I can get him up alongside me. That's turned off. But yeah, the GN, it's a lovely little bike. Handling's nice and light, steady and stable. It's comfortable for long distances. It's good for commuting. All round, it's a really lovely little bike to learn on. It's also easy to learn basic mechanics on because it's so simple. People have said to me, why don't you, how easy it is to do stuff? Well, I'm going to do exactly the same as I did last winter, around Christmas time, which is place chain, sprockets, another oil change. She gets oil changes every 3 months or 5,000 kilometres, whichever comes first. And apart from that, it's easy to maintain, cheap to road tax, cheap to insure, and you don't have to worry about traffic jams. You just side through the traffic thanks to the ability to filter, which I do frequently. So really, that's all there is to know about the bike I ride, apart from the fact she's silver, which the official UK imports were always red or black. and that makes Misty even more rare, more unique, and a very special little bike. Little side note for those of you who are regular riders with me, you'll probably notice some nice new gloves. My Frank Thomas ones that I bought for last year, winter. No longer waterproof, no longer keep my hands nice and toasty warm. So it's time to change them. So they've now been relegated to autumn, spring use. While these are my winter gloves. Nice new ones from BKS. Anyway, thank you for coming aboard with the Furry Biker. I will soon be doing a review of my camera setup and that for you, Jay Beemer, and for all you guys out there. So, thank you very much for watching. Throw me a like, comment, subscribe if you want. Be nice if you do. I really appreciate the support, guys. To my fellow bikers, keep it rubber side down, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.